Hi everyone, it is once again time to review the seasonal market. So we are in this short, weird little February-March season. That is the Valentine's Day season. I don't know why it needs about 6 weeks or so to go, but whatever, we get some cute items and some good dragons out of it, so let's go ahead and open up the market. Alright, so our premium for the market is Spring Shedder. We got Unique and Toxin, a few exclusives. Then we have our Rider Unique Dragons. And then we have the rares, the costume, and then everything else. So let's go through one by one, and then after I'm going to go ahead and pull up their rankings on our ranking tool. Alright, so Spring Shedder. Spring Shedder can't do wood, has a fish rate of 9.45. That's an okay fish rate. If you're a beginner in the game and you're not very far and you need a better fish gatherer, Spring Shedder might not be a bad option, but there are better strategies for increasing your fish rates early in the game. Spring Shedder is mostly desirable as a premium. It's kind of a goal to get all of the premiums, even if they're not good. That's just kind of a weird goal we have as a community, is to go after all the premiums. Iron is okay, but really not amazing, so I wouldn't recommend it. I can't see the cost. I don't know the cost, but so it may or may not be good. You can get Spring Shedder from the rare pack, so it'd be better just to aim for a rare pack instead of trying to get Spring Shedder from the market. Just try to run Toothless Journeys for rare packs and premium packs and get Spring Shedder that way, rather than buying Spring Shedder through the market. Toxin is a much better buy. I don't think you could get Toxin and Spring Shedder. That's a bit steep. Toxin is the bad boy to go after. Look at that wood rate of 18.9 million. Toxin is a surprisingly cuddly dragon, apparently. And a Slitherwing, right? Yes. Toxin is a Slitherwing. Excellent dragon to have. Mine is not fully trained because I am bad at training dragons. I should. I've just been training a bunch of triple strikes for like 6 months. Don't hold that against me. But Toxin at 18.9 wood, that is a stellar wood rate. Absolutely stellar. In fact, I think if you open the Book of Dragons and you filter by wood collector, Toxin is going to be pretty high. Yep. Toxin's up there in the first few rows. So definitely get Toxin. So these three exclusive here. Exclusive is a really bad label for this category of dragons. Overall, the entire category of exclusives are not actually very exclusive. None of them are really fantastic. I'm going to go into all of these. I'm going to tell you right now. I don't necessarily recommend any of these. I will not be getting any of these myself because I already have them on my main game. If you like any of these species or you're missing them as a collector and you want to have all of the dragons, which why wouldn't you? And you want to have all the dragons, go ahead and get them. But there's nothing special about them. Here, look at Flaredon. 7.74 million. That's an okay fish rate. But there's no reason to get it for gathering purposes. Okay, Squall Caller. 7.18 million wood rate. That's okay. Kind of a long time, 11 hours. Not really worth getting unless you collect grapple grounders. Alright, and Cage Cruncher, 4.72. Abysmal rate, only worth it if you're trying to get all the Monstrous Nightmares, which by the way have the #1 most amount of dragons in the game. Okay, then we have 2 Rider Uniques. I usually criticize the Rider Unique Dragons. I don't have too much of a criticism this time. It is tough luck that those that aren't Riders can't get Barf and Belch's mate. Even though they can get Stormfly's mate and Hookfang's mate this past week, they're not able to get Barf and Belch's mate unless they're Riders. This is my priority because I already have Toxin on my main game. So I am prioritizing Barf and Belch's mate because for collection purposes, they're cute. Why not? Only 2,700 flowers. Fireworm Queen, if I remember correctly, maybe the iron is pretty good. I mean, 745, considering that the highest wood or fish cost is 500 million. I don't know which Fireworm Queen uses and what their cost is, but that's actually pretty good. We'll find out when we go to rankings. I don't know all of these iron rates off the top of my head, because just giving total and time doesn't actually give you an idea of what kind of iron gatherer that dragon is, so it's really not fair. And Slither Song. Okay, sometimes these markets have rare dragons that are nice for early users to be able to get to maximize their gathering. Like a couple seasons ago, there was a Wind Gnasher, which is really good. And I forget other seasons. I think Bone Napper. One season there was a Bone Napper. So dragons like that have like a 10 million rate and they're cheap, like the rares are usually 2,000. That's really nice for an early game player when you can't search for these yet. For everyone else, you can search for these dragons. This is kind of a waste of your time. Sorry. Unless they're triple strikes. Triple strikes are always worth your time. And the costume. The Floral Crown Hook Fang costume is actually a really good costume. It not only decreases your journey time, but increases your rune reward in journey. In the second journey that costs 50 runes, with this costume on, the prize is 350 runes, I think. I think that sounds right. I don't have the Flower Crown costume on right now, but it's something like 350 or even more. So that's a really nice way to make some runes with the Hook Fang costume and to take that journey with this costume. So that is as far as the dragon goes. Instead of using the Discord dragon bot to show the rankings, this time I'm going to use our companion tool. This was developed by Andrew, JebCC, and Mindigi12 on the Discord server. This is their brainchild. It's beautiful. I am going to do another video on it sometime, I promise. And so this is part of their built-in system, and the dragon bot is basically taken from this data. The nice thing about doing it here is we get a bit more of a detailed view. The only thing missing is what resources they use to convert to iron, but you can find that elsewhere on the tool. I'm just not going to spend the time to do that right now. So I brought up Spring Shutter. Global ranking is 264. That's not amazing at all. Kind of high rating for fish, which is pretty nice. 65. I didn't realize that 9 million was up that high. So yeah, okay for fish, but still there are better fish dragons, and Toxin is a much better choice than Spring Shutter anyway. So speaking of Toxin, let's go ahead and bring up Toxin. I'm sorry if everyone else says Toxin differently. It sounds like poison, but he's not. He's amazing. Okay, so his wood ranking is 15, and he's 37 overall. So that's pretty amazing. Toxin is definitely one to get. Get Toxin. Look at that wood, and battle's not too bad either. Get Toxin, train him, love him. Okay, the next one on the list, I'm going to show you why these middle exclusive, quote, dragons are not amazing. Global ranking, 299. I mean, middle high for fish, nothing spectacular. By the way, I forgot to mention, this sheet also shows the training time, so you know it takes about 46 days, give or take, to train Flare Dawn from 0 to 150. So that's pretty cool. That's available for all dragons on here. Alright, Squall Caller. Again, not an amazing dragon. In fact, global ranking is 550 out of nearly 600 dragons. No, don't get it unless you like rain cutters or you're just trying to get all the dragons. So, yeah, not fancy or exclusive at all. Cage Cruncher. Okay, Cage Cruncher is a higher rating because Cage Cruncher is actually decent at iron. So, there you go. It's a top 100 for iron, but there are much better iron dragons. It takes 100 days to train. I do not recommend. Just no. Alright, Fireworm Queen. Fireworm Queen is okay. 450, that's not very good. Okay for iron. That's about it. So again, takes 90 days to train. Just don't do it. Okay, Barf and Belch's mate. Also not awesome. 400. A decent iron ranking. I'm getting Barf and Belch's mate because they're canonical kind of dragons. So that's the only reason I'm getting them as a completionist. And then last one is Slither Song. There you go. Really kind of middle of the road. Not really worth getting. So the only dragons really worth getting for resource gathering purposes are the Spring Shutter and Toxin for fish and wood respectively. So here was a little tidbit of our companion tool. I promise I will do another video on this some point. I've just been super slammed. So there we go, back to the market. Alright, and moving on to decorations. Some of these decorations we had last season. I'm trying to remember. Arch of Love we had last year. Not last season, sorry. Last year, Arch of Love. We had the Heartstone last year. Wishing Well was a summer item, but now it has flowers, so that makes it spring magically. Okay. The Viking couple's really cute. I have a Viking couple on my husband's island. I think Lover's Bench is old. Amethyst is old. I know that green gem from Discord is going to be getting more amethyst. I can't remember if Love Chops is old. Ager's Drop is old. I remember that from last year. I can't remember the red fungus. You know what? I'd have to check. I really don't remember. But the Freya and Hildisvini, that is new, and I love that. I want that to go along with my Thor statue and my... Is there an Odin statue or just Stoic? I don't remember all the statues that are out there. But I'm definitely going to be getting the Freya statue. And then the feast table is nice and cute. That would be nice to put with where you have your Viking huts and even the hot spring tub. So you can have the Vikings walking around, and so that kind of ties it all together. So the decorations are cute. Nothing I'm really feasting after besides the Freya statue. I definitely want the Freya statue. And I might get some more gemstones myself. But those are some cute decorations. Decent cost. I'm probably going to get some mushrooms. So, I definitely recommend prioritizing Toxin, and then from there, if you can afford it, get the costume. You'd be surprised how many flowers you can get in a season. I always end up having way more than I plan to as an active writer on my main game. So those are my recommendations. Toxin first, maybe Spring Shutter, but Toxin, the costume, and if you're a writer, Barf and Belch's Mate, because that's just so cute. Alright. And those are my recommendations. Thanks for watching, guys. This was Genevieve Plays Rise of Berk.